The moment looked simple. Just two best friends sharing a hug backstage at one of the biggest shows of Bruno Mars' The Romantic Tour. But when Paak wrapped his arms around Bruno Mars at MetLife Stadium, fans immediately felt the history behind that one emotional moment. And yes, Silk Sonic fans noticed everything. Paak and Bruno Mars have spent years building one of the most beloved partnerships in modern pop and R&B, and seeing them together again during the Romantic Tour created an instant wave of excitement. On day 46 of the tour, during the second show at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the two longtime friends shared a warm embrace that quickly became one of those small moments fans could not stop talking about. Before we get into why this hug means so much to Silk Sonic fans, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because if you love Bruno Mars, Paak, Silk Sonic, The Romantic Tour, live music, and unforgettable celebrity moments, you definitely do not want to miss what happened next. Because the hug itself may have lasted only a few seconds. The atmosphere inside MetLife Stadium was already electric. Bruno Mars was back in East Rutherford for the second consecutive show, continuing the Romantic Tour in front of another massive crowd. And somewhere in the middle of all that spectacle was a much quieter moment. Paak. The possibilities are exciting, but the safest conclusion from this moment is simply that Bruno and Anderson still share a close friendship and an undeniable musical bond. And honestly, maybe that is enough. Because sometimes the best celebrity moments are the ones that do not need a major announcement attached to them. Sometimes a hug is just a hug. But when that hug comes between two artists whose collaboration became one of the most beloved modern R&B stories, fans are naturally going to feel something. And that feeling is nostalgia. It is excitement. It is curiosity. It is the hope that maybe someday we will hear that unmistakable Silk Sonic sound again. Back inside MetLife Stadium, Bruno Mars continued doing what he does best: performing, entertaining, connecting, turning a massive stadium into something that can somehow feel intimate. That is one of Bruno's greatest strengths. Whether he is singing a romantic ballad or delivering a high-energy funk performance, he has an ability to make enormous crowds feel personally involved in the moment. And Paak understands that feeling. They both understand how important the audience is. They understand rhythm. They understand performance. They understand the value of making people smile. And perhaps that is why their friendship works so well. It is not just about music. It is about a shared understanding of entertainment. The hug became a small window into that world. One moment, one embrace, one reminder of the friendship behind the music. And while the Romantic Tour continues to move through its massive US chapter, fans will undoubtedly keep watching closely. Because when Bruno Mars is on tour, anything connected to his musical universe can become a major talking point. A song can go viral. A dance can become a trend. A guest appearance can dominate social media. A costume can become a headline. And sometimes, a hug can become the moment everybody remembers. That is exactly what happened with Paak and Bruno Mars. The two Silk Sonic partners and longtime friends shared a beautiful moment during the Romantic Tour's Day 46 and the second MetLife Stadium show in East Rutherford. No dramatic announcement. No big speech. Just friendship. Just affection. Just two musicians who have shared an incredible creative journey. And perhaps that is why the moment feels so refreshing. In an industry where everything can sometimes feel carefully calculated, a genuine friendship moment stands out. It reminds fans that behind the stadium lights and superstar headlines are real relationships, real memories, real friendships, and real creative bonds. For Bruno Mars and Paak, that bond has already given the world Silk Sonic. And even if fans have to wait for whatever comes next, the legacy of that partnership is not going anywhere. So if you saw that hug and immediately thought, Silk Sonic is still alive in their friendship, you were definitely not alone. The comments are already the perfect place for the biggest question. Do you want to see Bruno Mars and Paak reunite as Silk Sonic for another project? Would you want a new Silk Sonic album? Another single? A surprise live performance? Or should they simply continue supporting each other as two close friends and incredible solo artists? Whatever the answer may be, one thing is undeniable. That hug at MetLife Stadium reminded everyone why Bruno Mars and Paak are such a special pair. They gave fans a moment that was not about charts. It was not about streaming numbers. It was not about awards. It was not about headlines. It was about friendship. And sometimes, those are the moments fans remember the longest. From the massive stage of the romantic tour to a simple embrace between two best friends, Bruno Mars and Paak once again reminded the world that great music can create relationships that last far beyond a single song. Silk Sonic may have started as a musical collaboration, but the bond between Bruno and Anderson became something much bigger. And as Bruno Mars continues his journey through the romantic tour, fans will keep watching. Because maybe the next unforgettable moment will come from the stage. Maybe it will come from backstage. Maybe it will be another surprise. Or maybe it will be something as simple as two friends sharing another hug. Whatever happens next, Bruno Mars and Paak have already created a musical history that fans will never forget. And this MetLife Stadium moment? It was just another beautiful reminder of why everybody loves them together. If you enjoyed this Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic update, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Bruno Mars news, the romantic tour updates, Paak moments, Silk Sonic stories, celebrity music news, and the latest viral moments from the world of entertainment. And just when fans thought the biggest stories from MetLife Stadium would come from the music itself, another emotional detail began taking center stage. The friendship between Bruno Mars and Paak once again became part of the conversation. For fans who have followed Bruno for years, these moments carry a special kind of nostalgia. Bruno is known for his ability to create unforgettable performances, but his closest musical relationships often reveal another side of him. Away from the spotlight, away from the choreography and massive production, there is a sense of genuine connection that fans rarely get to see. Paak's embrace was one of those moments. It was quick. It was warm. And it was incredibly personal. The kind of moment that does not need a dramatic announcement to become memorable. As cameras and fans captured the interaction, the energy surrounding the two artists immediately changed. Suddenly, people were not just talking about the romantic tour. They were talking about Silk Sonic again. And that is the power of Bruno Mars and Paak as a creative duo. Even after years of separate musical journeys, the name Silk Sonic still carries enormous emotional weight. The collaboration created a unique identity that blended vintage soul, funk, R&B, smooth vocals, charismatic performances, and modern production. But perhaps the most important ingredient was the chemistry between the two artists. Bruno could deliver the polished melodies. Anderson could bring the groove. Bruno could bring the romantic energy. Anderson could inject humor and unpredictability. Together, they created something that felt effortless. That chemistry is exactly what fans saw in the hug at MetLife Stadium. There was no need for a stage. There was no need for microphones. There was no need for a rehearsed routine. Their friendship spoke for itself. And that is why the moment hit differently. For a fan watching from the crowd, it could have been easy to miss. The romantic tour is filled with huge visual moments, powerful lighting, massive screens, dancers, musicians, costume changes, and Bruno's signature stage presence. But sometimes the smallest moments become the biggest stories. That is what happened here. And the reaction makes sense because Bruno Mars has built a fan base that pays attention to details. His fans know the songs. They know the performances. They know the history. They know the collaborators. And they definitely know Paak. So when the two appear together, even for a brief moment, fans immediately understand the significance. There is also something symbolic about seeing Anderson beside Bruno during this particular chapter of Bruno's career. The romantic tour represents another major stage in Bruno's evolution as a performer. He is no longer simply performing inside traditional concert venues. He is commanding stadiums. MetLife Stadium represents the scale of that evolution perfectly. Thousands of people gathered in one enormous venue, waiting to experience Bruno Mars live. The lights go down. The crowd gets louder. The anticipation builds. And then Bruno appears. That familiar energy returns. But behind all of the spectacle is an artist who has spent years developing relationships with musicians who understand his vision. Anderson .Paak is one of those people. That is why their reunion feels so natural. They have already shared the stage, the studio, the spotlight, and some of the biggest moments of their careers. Their friendship has survived beyond the boundaries of one project. And fans can feel that. There is an authenticity to their interaction that is difficult to manufacture. You can create a viral moment. You can create a dramatic entrance. You can create a surprise. But you cannot easily create genuine chemistry between two people. That chemistry has to exist before the cameras arrive. And with Bruno and Anderson, fans have been watching that chemistry for years. This is where the story becomes bigger than one hug. It becomes about what happens when two artists create something that becomes part of popular culture. Silk Sonic was not simply another collaboration. The project became a destination. Fans wanted the music. They wanted the performances. They wanted the aesthetic. They wanted the humor. They wanted the characters. And they wanted to see Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak together. That demand still exists. Whenever the two are spotted together, fans immediately start asking the same question. Could Silk Sonic return? And that question is probably going to follow them for years. But there is a difference between fan hope and confirmed information. At this moment, the MetLife Stadium hug should be viewed for what it clearly was. A touching moment between two friends and creative partners. It is not, by itself, confirmation of a new Silk Sonic album or tour. And that distinction matters. Because the excitement should come from the moment itself, not from rumors that have not been confirmed. And honestly, the moment is already special enough. There is something beautiful about seeing two successful artists simply celebrate each other. Bruno has his own career. Anderson has his own career. They have both continued to evolve. But their friendship remains a connection point. And that is one of the reasons fans continue to root for them. Now imagine the visual. A massive stadium, thousands of people, Bruno Mars in the middle of his enormous tour, Anderson .Paak appearing nearby. Then suddenly they embrace. The crowd reacts. Fans capture it. The clip begins spreading. And within minutes, people are discussing Silk Sonic all over again. That is how modern music culture works. A few seconds can restart an entire conversation. One photograph can bring back years of memories. One hug can make fans revisit an entire discography. And one appearance can remind everyone how powerful a musical partnership can be. That is what makes this story so fascinating. It is not really about the duration of the hug. It is about everything that came before it. Every rehearsal, every recording session, every performance, every laugh, every song. Every moment that helped Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak build the Silk Sonic identity. All of that history is contained inside the emotional reaction fans have when they see them together. And that is why the moment at MetLife Stadium feels bigger than it looks. For Bruno Mars fans, it is another memorable chapter of the romantic tour. For Anderson .Paak fans, it is another reminder of his unique connection with Bruno. And for Silk Sonic fans, it is a beautiful reminder that the friendship behind the music remains something people genuinely care about. There is also a bigger lesson here about collaboration. The most successful musical partnerships are often built on trust. Artists have to understand each other's strengths. They have to know when to lead. They have to know when to step back. They have to understand rhythm, timing, emotion, and personality. Bruno and Anderson clearly found that balance. Their music worked because neither artist completely overshadowed the other. Instead, they amplified each other. And that is exactly what great collaboration looks like. When Bruno sings, Anderson creates space. When Anderson brings the groove, Bruno responds. When Bruno brings the polish, Anderson brings raw energy. When Anderson brings humor, Bruno matches it. The result is chemistry, and chemistry is difficult to replace. That is why fans continue to ask for more. Even as Bruno continues the romantic tour, the possibility of another Silk Sonic chapter remains one of those exciting questions surrounding both artists. But until something officially happens, fans can simply enjoy the moments they do get. And the MetLife Stadium hug is certainly one of those moments. It is a reminder that sometimes the most emotional concert memories happen outside the actual performance. A backstage greeting, a laugh, a handshake, a hug, a musician checking on another musician. These moments humanize artists who can sometimes seem larger than life. Bruno Mars may be one of the biggest performers on the planet, but standing beside Paak, he is also simply a friend greeting another friend. That contrast is what makes the scene so charming. The superstar disappears for a moment. The friend remains, and fans love seeing that side of him. The same thing can be said about Anderson. His personality has always been one of his greatest strengths. He brings energy and humor wherever he goes, but his relationship with Bruno reveals another side: loyalty, affection, and genuine respect. Together, they remind fans that the music industry does not have to be entirely about competition. Sometimes artists can simply celebrate one another, and that celebration can mean more than any headline. As the romantic tour continues, fans will naturally keep searching for unexpected moments. Who might appear? What song could return? What surprise could happen? Could another familiar face show up? Could another Silk Sonic moment happen? Those questions are part of the excitement of following a major tour in real time. But one thing is already certain. MetLife Stadium gave fans another memorable Bruno Mars story. Not because of controversy, not because of speculation, not because of a shocking announcement, but because of friendship. And sometimes that is the best kind of entertainment story. The internet may move quickly, but emotional moments can stay with fans much longer. A viral clip can disappear in a day. A headline can be forgotten tomorrow. But memories connected to music can last for years. For many fans, Silk Sonic represents exactly that kind of memory. The songs became part of their lives. The performances became unforgettable. And Bruno Mars and Paak became a duo people wanted to see again and again. So when Anderson gave Bruno that big hug at MetLife Stadium, fans did not just see two celebrities. They saw a piece of music history. They saw two artists who created something special. They saw friendship. They saw nostalgia. And perhaps most importantly, they saw the possibility of another great moment somewhere down the road. Whether that moment comes on a stage, inside a recording studio, at another event, or simply in another candid interaction, nobody knows. And that uncertainty is part of what makes following Bruno Mars and Paak so exciting. For now, the story remains beautifully simple. Bruno Mars is continuing his massive The Romantic Tour. Paak remains one of his closest creative partners. The two reunited at MetLife Stadium. They shared a big hug. Fans saw it. Fans loved it. And the Silk Sonic memories came rushing back. Sometimes, a moment does not need to be complicated. Sometimes the strongest story is simply about two friends who were happy to see each other. And in a world filled with headlines, rumors, and endless speculation, that kind of genuine moment feels refreshing. So as the lights continue to shine on the romantic tour, fans will keep watching Bruno Mars. They will keep watching Paak. And they will keep watching for that special chemistry that made Silk Sonic unforgettable. Because if there is one thing this MetLife Stadium moment proved, it is that the connection between Bruno Mars and Paak still means something. The music brought them together. Friendship kept the bond alive. And fans are still here, waiting to see what the next chapter might bring. For now, though, there is no need to overthink it. No need for a rumor. No need for a major announcement. Just Bruno Mars and Paak sharing a heartfelt hug. Two best friends. Two incredible musicians. One unforgettable moment at MetLife Stadium. And for Silk Sonic fans everywhere, that was more than enough. There is another reason this moment at MetLife Stadium feels so meaningful. It reminds fans that some partnerships cannot simply be measured by albums, singles, streaming numbers, or chart positions. Some partnerships become part of an artist's identity. And for Bruno Mars and Anderson.Paak, Silk Sonic is exactly that kind of partnership. The moment Anderson.Paak embraced Bruno during the romantic tour immediately brought that history back into focus. Fans who witnessed the interaction did not need a long explanation. They already knew what the two artists represented together. They remembered the music. They remembered the performances. They remembered the chemistry. And most importantly, they remembered the feeling. That feeling is difficult to describe because Silk Sonic managed to create something that felt both nostalgic and completely modern. The music sounded inspired by another era, but the personalities were unmistakably Bruno and Anderson. The result was a musical partnership that reached listeners far beyond traditional R&B audiences. And that is why every Bruno Mars and Anderson.Paak interaction continues to attract attention. The hug at MetLife Stadium became another reminder of how deeply fans connected with that era. But there is an even bigger story unfolding around Bruno Mars right now. The romantic tour has placed him on some of the biggest stages of his career, and every stop has created new memories. From the opening moments of the concert to the final encore, fans are watching Bruno with an extraordinary level of attention. They are watching his vocals. They are watching his dance moves. They are watching his outfits. They are watching the musicians around him. And they are watching for unexpected moments. That is why Anderson.Paak's presence was so meaningful. In a tour filled with carefully designed entertainment, a spontaneous-looking friendship moment can stand out more than another spectacular production sequence. Feels real. And audiences respond to real moments. The crowd does not need to be told how to react when they see two people who clearly care about each other. The reaction happens naturally. A smile. A scream. A camera coming out. A social media post. Then another fan shares it. And suddenly, a few seconds at a stadium become a worldwide conversation. That is the modern celebrity ecosystem. But underneath all of it is something very simple. People love seeing people they admire being happy. And Bruno Mars looked genuinely comfortable around Anderson.Paak. That is why fans described the interaction as adorable. It was not about celebrity status. It was about friendship. And friendship has always been part of the appeal of Silk Sonic. When Bruno and Anderson performed together, their relationship felt visible through their body language. They joked with each other. They moved together. They played off each other's energy. They created moments that felt spontaneous even when the show itself was carefully rehearsed. That is an important distinction. Great performers can make preparation disappear. And Bruno and Anderson are both exceptional at that. Their ability to make a rehearsed performance feel effortless is one of the reasons audiences continue to love them. The MetLife Stadium moment simply brought that same chemistry into a more personal setting. No song was necessary. No choreography was necessary. Their friendship was enough. And now, naturally, the question returns. What happens next? Could fans eventually see another Silk Sonic era? Could Bruno Mars and Anderson.Paak record together again? Could they surprise the world with another performance? Those questions are going to continue because the demand is clearly there. But fans should remember that artists are allowed to evolve. Bruno has his own creative journey. Anderson has his own musical identity. Their careers do not have to move together for their friendship to remain meaningful. That is perhaps one of the healthiest ways to look at this moment. Instead of treating every interaction as a hidden announcement, fans can simply appreciate the relationship itself. Because there is something powerful about watching two successful artists support one another without needing to turn every interaction into a business opportunity. Anderson does not have to be on stage with Bruno every night. Bruno does not have to release another Silk Sonic record tomorrow. Their friendship can exist independently of their music. That makes moments like this even more genuine. And it also makes fans appreciate the music they already created. Think about how much has happened since Silk Sonic first captured the world's attention. The duo introduced an aesthetic that felt timeless. They created songs that dominated conversations. They delivered performances that became fan favorites. They brought classic R&B and soul influences back into the mainstream conversation. And they reminded audiences that musical chemistry can still surprise people. Bruno Mars already had a massive career before Silk Sonic. Anderson.Paak already had a devoted audience before Silk Sonic. But together, they reached a different level of cultural attention. That is what makes their partnership so fascinating. Two established artists did not simply combine their audiences. They created a new identity. And when a new identity works that well, fans naturally want it to continue. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about the MetLife Stadium hug is that it does not need to answer the future. It celebrates the past while existing completely in the present. Bruno is on the romantic tour. Anderson is there. They see each other. They embrace. Fans smile. That is the story. And sometimes that is all we need. Still, there is another layer to this moment that longtime Bruno Mars fans will understand. Bruno has always surrounded himself with musicians who are not simply hired performers but genuine collaborators. His live band has become part of the identity of his concerts. His performances are built around musicianship. The groove matters. The timing matters. The interaction between performers matters. And Anderson.Paak understands that world instinctively. He is not simply someone who can perform alongside Bruno. He understands rhythm at a fundamental level. He understands how to make a crowd move. He understands the power of live instrumentation. And he understands that music is supposed to feel alive. That shared philosophy helped make Silk Sonic work. And it is another reason their friendship continues to resonate.